1 yɛde kan de ato anim ɛnra sɛ nyame adoma na yɛne Dennis Miracles aboagye yɛbɛdi nkɔmmɔ ɛwɔ ha pani ɛyɛ member of the New Patriotic Party wasom pɛn koraa as a DC ɛde ama NPP amanyɔkuo no sɛsi ameka sɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia team ya wɔn ɛbɔ ntoa odi akɔtene wɔn mu yie paa a member of the team na anɔpɛ ɔha ɔno so na prophet Radion Hong Kong the other day ɔha no okay washo Hong Kong ti wi ameka ho asma kyerɛ okay Miracle Zakwaba
Miriam we just so me dance so
mape wache o
oh say oh no eja kakra do be ma minti me a me fafo na me frozen person background so dey bi echi nti na no me na mabɔ ewure tua abebeto wa
but up we here
ya me adom divine selection
they adom we've been watching you from afar. You're doing well.
We are in this together.
You're doing well.
We are in this together. Yeah. Enyina na ye. So won so wo boy adwuma wo.
Kakrakra.
Ai wo boy adwuma.
Kakrakra.
See an wo dia obeka na enyina de adwuma.
Now and then the last day of the campaign was Ashanti region.
Me patron. Nyame adoma by the close of the day na yetumi aye all the 47 constituencies. Each of the constituencies.
Muko constituency bia. Man cluster or
hey, obe cluster. Nipa no onu kwere japade. No say ope yemu baako na wafa ye.
Yeah.
Na ye di nanim. Na ope say ofawa oso nkɔ ne nan so. Until as you every single constituency 275 Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia beko ho nyina se nyame adom na ene eda no court se se ko ne yi free wa na je se yi Greater Accra yi Ashanti region free.
Wow.
Na you move to the next region. Every single constituency Dr. Bawumia no beko. And you see critically cry in this engagement no and they say opeso depart ni mu a e say to me it's a party for no omo die so na money da so omo no
yeah
so to me eti ase wo de ukra wadwen o wo de wo na wo so person ye flag bearer no ukra wo vision but the question is and only vision a party for no share na nti se wunya kwan bi a wo beton wo vision na momo na omo no wato adwen no ma kire o se de a wo ka no ye no wo ya adwen ye pe nti to aso enti se won to me criticize environment no na oni omo enya sankita mudie na one sha ube wi I said train na microphone ye no ebi mu start wa na ebi mu start wa
yeah
omo ni so ti omo no mo hia dade no ba ko nam ha because omo ensusu anwe ho ambom
yeah
and that's exactly what the vice president is doing enti police station executive bi o Ghana ha bi ade Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ene ni be hia na one party for ne dinkomo na wa kire mo de enti a ono ene party ni a ene sambria ye womi obetumi abona party no ya sanso aka nyina ya bom na yetumi win power come 2024.
Wow. But how has it been so far?
Amazing.
There's 11 days in Ashanti region.
Amazing. You see no Ukraine say wo so no pa na say even Angel Hakra wo ba wow to be wo wadwen da otim ne dia opese.
Sure.
But eto de bia wobetumi aba na production team say oni omo ye adwuma no na bi omo so omo die sonko
different. Yeah, sure.
It is a wo ba na say mu nyina madwen kopenkura na
a decade.
Ashanti region has been phenomenal. The level of energy, enthusiasm, and the reception omodiama omampenia beje Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no ebro nenti asere na adwen so isi akodo mo fe na najimai
idea man Ashanti
na najimai omo se asante otumfo nana
no
nti omo de na najimai ma no nti bebie beko bia na najimai na asante memua omo fe no according to the vice president and the pay cry ba na oka o say ehye ni nkran it only encourages and inspires him. Say, yeah, nipa kuona yeti wotu no hwesi ho no.
Yeah.
Nipa no eboje no so eso ne mu a ema na ahoden soronko say onfanto de a oye no so. Enti from Ashanti region we nya a certain level of renewed energy to continue and move on to the other regions. I am yet to see a single constituency yakwa yebeka say had ekwa no ma hoden e wo fam. And it's simply because party for na your madwen say e see winning power. The party people are convinced.
Obi an show bia.
Na wait me ashedi part 200,000. Ashanti region hanko ampo. Sa e friend is saying 47 constituencies here again. Ashanti region alone. O kan nipa dodo e wo eye party form to aba in this 47 constituencies. Eye simple. Eye 36,624. Inti out of almost about 200,000. Ashanti region and Kwenkura about 36,624. Now, nipa 36,000. But me pion nyina egu dan ba ko na wato dem. We yes on say nipa kuo bi come ho bom na omo ye convinced about a certain cause. No mo dem ho gim. Na say o ka say obi ahom a na wo bo say nipa for no bo mo nimtia. Because now person che say me miracle say ne ma ba betra Angel FM ma me ni udi nkomo yi. Say ye di tuo si mi kon na tuo bi ansi mi ti ho na ma ba betra na e hye na me de betra na say person che say se mi ni nyansa. But a very, very clear say the party people, they want to win the next elections. NPP no say ye pew, say MPU, ye na ye japade, ye na ye there. In the midst of challenges, no, what you do is to mobilize the people. Now can for there. One say udi ni penima unyo how. One say udi ni penima unya mani hunu. Enti na ye de adwuma no, e ma won say u bedi ni paninim. Say na be ya in the midst of challenges and difficulties, no, obe boabo nipa na no de omako. Na wo de wo no say oha na mane na bebrese ba na wo bedwane afie ko no ho de a ene say wo no yentumi fa wondi nipa nim. Na ebiem senka oha nso ni ho a anka yin kendifo. Ye sorry anope ne ye say oha bi ani kwamu bibia be kototroto se na esi kwa anka yin be yi wo se bedi enim.
We don't need a leader.
Exactly. And see, the party people are convinced. They are not saying say we don't have challenges and difficulties. Oh. There are challenges and difficulties. ASANTE memwa ene KOTOKO lose so much. Fufu nyina be say by train nyina be ko studio ho be ma. Ade ne enjai ko because ASANTE man ko so nti. ASANTE man ni onyam nti. Enu nti na no matter what happens to Kumasi ASANTE KOTOKO no. Still in this country, Kumasi Sports Stadium eye mabuso. To the extent say Accra so folk betumi abom matches wo Accra Sports Stadium e be 30% full, 30% full. But do mo ne KOTOKO be bo no. KOTOKO fo be raw na why den ayeba. There is a reason why Kumasi ASANTE KOTOKO fans are seen as one of the best supporters of football in Africa and in the world because omo do omo ekuo no omo hu ni say e yo mo japade and some mentality no na NPP ama yokuo no yekura ye na ye dia ye japade no ye nya o haw ne abebresa de ye ne say ye boaboa ye ho ano ne ye ho afirim ye begina bonten toto abo nguso ensa anwengu ye gare mu ensa ye ho enkasa ade no enko ye nti ye say no. We don't do that as a political party, and that is why you see say party for dodo na eboabo mo ho ano hwe insem no de yete ba ko mienu bi etutugum. But I can tell you say so we should the number of people we are talking about against the number of distractions are the party doesn't have issues. I'm telling you, and I'm saying it in terms of weight.
Okay.
So I just say in terms of weight. So we can say we measure pan. The unity in the party is stronger than the few who believe say I don't say menya dia men say no. You can't measure, and that's why we are very focused and very, very fixed on this agenda. NPP must win the 2024 elections, not because of our political party alone, but because of the country Ghana.
I mean, CAB or to say now because you see when you hear certain candidates, you know, go out there. I mean, not one, not two. I think I've heard about 3 or so. Momusro, go out there. I mean, nobody can do you anything. We can't even see. What is happening inside there?
I'm saying. We don't get 10%. We have some get 20,000. 200,000. Why should we be worried? It could be any. It could be. I saw them. Praise be. I saw them. Praise be. I saw them. I no pay. Obekono. Catholics for ne presbyters. Omo disagree. Catholic I saw them. I no pay. Obekono. They are disagreeing. Ebusunya na ye nyine moja baako.
Of course.
Ah yesia no pay. Yesia ye ebusunya meeting no. Kwahwe ntoko esim. Nti no de eye normal. Eno nkyerɛ sɛ enu nti no yɛnhwie nsuo no ne akwala ne nyina ntungu yɛntumi so nka sɛ ekuo kɛseɛ sɛ yɛbɛtumi akɔbi afie ne akɔkyɛ ne de ɔnka ne sɛ na osi yɛ den enka no yɛde foto no bɛto abɔnten but yɛbɛnya baako mienu bi a ɔmo de upewu mpewu ɔbɛto ho mpen na wahwie anwea yɛ den egum ɛno no de yɛntumi enso ne nyina no but ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ ketua kakra bi no yebetumi de no aye nsusuodie ama ekuo kese te se MPP we are very united say utumi hu se dodo na eka ho enuti na woka se omusuodie ene dodo no mu decision no o ha ne say if the majority have decided say you will suro bi we mu nti se ne ye be ya isn't that the decision of the majority are you telling me say over 200,000 people no about 190,000 of them 10,000 pennies already. Is that what you're saying? Do you really believe it's realistic? No crepa and say, do you believe it's realistic? Say, nipa 190,000 out of 200,000. Omunyi already 10,000 pennies. Any mono, say 10,000. Obviously, you're on your own. And see, how are you going to be able to convince the 190,000? 10,000 people. How are you going to be able to convince the 190,000 people? In any case, it's only free. And see, MPs. ASANTE memu ha nyina all the MPs in Ashanti region me nyi ba kompom frem omu nyina de Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia echi to mu nyina so Dr. Bawumia 120
the fear the system
any when na the yeni ministers of state almost support the other candidates.
Oh yes, of course.
And what are you talking about? Obi abo mu obi de tuesi omuti ho what to say minister of state bi aba say or ye mini otra cabinet or that's what the cabinet ye ne fa adwin into what are we talking about sani ma we no we na say nsem ne sa na wo message ne sa na ntokwa no fono wa wo de sa we no efrem but normal o na NDC for be come presidential presidency and their number Dr. Dofo Nkrofo they want to go for me entina me dey sorry example ne ma wo no me say ede na wo hu praise before omo moderator elections na da or praise before omo moderator elections no akobida and even omo presbyters about one akobida ensem nya na call radio so ukọ no ko hu confusion e wa so dey mu a unka say because we nipa yes sum nya me dey ba ye nipa ho de sanity what yes obi share robe ten fita ye Roman father ba ne bufu Baba Bejina so de man upon a nyame asumdwe nkan abotre God represents peace but nebufu because on your God oye nipa moja edi efurusa na yeden e woni mu etimi de meka cha ASANTE man nyina ne say yenka yakoma nto yeyem ye fene say akensie na ba akensie bia nso de obi be ka de be ye wode because okama wa ebede na otimi etwa yenjai na yema ye ho be 3-4 months we nyina betwem will come together and they will be able to prosecute the 2024 elections.
Come, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, come. I believe it's candidates being better more gangy up editia Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because it's been in the news. Especially let's stand it free. Orabuache Jacko interview or Granty City, and started triggers and Niamanoa. I want for BV say a bit more gangy up against the vice president.
Yeah, no. Yet we try not to pay so much attention to what's going on with other candidates. To be very sincere with you, it is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's way of living above the water and then making sure say he leads the way in keeping the unity of the party together. In Tiendra say is or admonish say nobody should speak against anybody. Nobody should insult anybody. Emo bianka senti obia ema ono onka bimpoda. Your business is to stay focused with the message. Tell the party people why they should select Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. ye on tokwa mienu a ye beku ba ko ye internal primaries ye wi second one no ye ko ne akwa ye general elections nti for now our focus is the internal presidential primaries ye no free ho na fe ye ko general elections now we need everybody nti yate say penny ba ko kai say omo ye nwotwe o se kono omo komo abom I can tell you say ene NPP no mo say mpenifo be 50 kra komo bom tia Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia obeyi omo nyina hwo I can tell you that without any doubt and with every humility obeyi omo nyina hwo because the decision is unanimous mema o scenario bi fitendra makasa ene say Accra House of Folk ewura ASANTE memu ha ene omo ko gina Kumasi Sports Stadium na omo ka say ASANTE man ye pamu team ba ko na ene omo abo na ya hye omo nti mo fa team a ene ye betumi abo match embra ASANTE man teams bebre wa wetu abo bia mame Kumasi ASANTE KOTOKO Kimfisa cornerstone say no so ha Asukwa Deportivo
a lot of the teams
what say teams we nyina wo fan base wo Kumasi teams nyina wo fan base ASANTE man mu omo nyina wo supporters but ugidi pa say yakasa ASANTE man mon koso nti mo pride ni mo enu onyam nti mo yi team ba ko pe efri mo team dodo onim na mo ne House of Folk mbebo na mo ndi nkuni man a hwana ye befa no
ye de KOTOKO beko
exactly why because everybody at that time has the interest of ASANTE man at heart and yet team are supporting all dream home at that time but echina se KOTOKO ne cornerstone and as Asokwa Deportivo bebo a Asokwa for be 90% ebe support Asokwa Deportivo bebo etia KOTOKO but at that point ye pedi obehye has enye di obehye KOTOKO enti mu nyina mo ka mo hubo mu kra se mu betia KOTOKO enye ade ASANTE man for be ka say oh Kimfesa Asokwa Deportivo cornerstone mu nyina makom ho bobu nti no ye fa omo ene House of Folk nkobo ni enja KOTOKO nsi chen because they want to win against House of Folk na so ko fa Asokwa Deportivo ene House of Folk obo match na se has e sha Asokwa Deportivo na ASANTE man fufuo di nyina say sadana mfaso ben ene be ba so ama wo support Asokwa Deportivo that time no na mom se wuji Asokwa Deportivo si nche at that time na ka say debi House of Folk ne ani omo kwakobo nti even though me Asokwa Deportivo fan me ye cornerstone fan me ye Kimfesa fan no ye nyina ASANTE memu ye di ahoden eta KOTOKO echi enkwahye House of Folk man na sanda no ye mbo se wa ASANTE memu a isn't it the way to go that is why you are seeing what you are seeing in the NPP
okay
enti en fa ho teams do don be ka bom en fa ho do pad do be
KOTOKO no ne Bawumia o
by ye KOTOKO no NPP say ye kase ye ko bom match bi sa ye KOTOKO no sa wo kwa has wo kwa Accra nso na say KOTOKO ba ho na say obi House of Folk no
okay
ye Bawumia ne House of Folk
okay
that I'm talking about the pride of the people
all right
Bawumia represents the pride of the people Bawumia represents bringing the energy of the people out.
Okay.
That is what he represents.
Now tell me, why Dr. Bawumia? Per analysis, why is everybody clamoring for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? What is so special about the vice president?
Because first of all, I've given you that scenario in it sums up for us as MPP, your political interest. So I just say, you two legs. The party qualification and then the state's affairs.
Okay.
In terms of party qualification, what are we as NPP if we go into an election and we lose? We must always win the elections.
Okay.
That is our job as a political party. And if we're going to win the elections, then we need that individual who can lead us to win the elections. A party now. All the people in this party say you put nipa bakwa obetumi winning elections against NDC Dr. Bawumia. You know why? Because NDC they've already taken a decision as to who they are bringing. John Mahama, His Excellency. So at that point, you no longer look out for a certain miracles or a certain Samioku or a certain Nana Kumia. You are looking out for who can be John Mahama. I may be a fine person. I may be a very competent person. I may be a very good person. But if I cannot win against John Mahama,
you have no business.
I have no business leading the party. And the party wouldn't have made any smart choice by electing me to only go and lose against John Mahama. Because if I don't win against him, how do I even get a chance to come and even show how competent I am? So that's the first point of decision making. And that is why the party people are settling on John Mahama. My friend is saying Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Because he's the person that can be John Mahama. Before Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ebabe running mate, I'm a party, yeah, Bepem 26 year power. Now call the northern sector, and the previous larger northern region, answer the Abechichemuna. The total seats of 31 parliamentary seats. Now NDC was 28. NPP was 3. As a result of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's presence as a running mate in our party, and in the Juma or year or northern region in T, when you say today as we speak, when you go back to these 31 constituencies, MPP was 16-16, NDC was 15-15.
Wow.
And these are areas that we in the MPP we call the non-traditional areas. Because you see, party be British American here, Democrats and Republicans. You have blue states and red states. You will state be a university state with them to Democrats. There's nothing wrong with it too. I am a system foka, and almost see a voter region, to NDC, Oba Ashanti with your to MPP. There's nothing wrong with it. All over the world, in every mature democracy, there are traditional areas for the political parties. Because people believe, they believe in the ideologies and principles and philosophies of a political party. And that's why they vote in that manner. But we are missing change here. There are what we call the non-traditional areas. Until one go for now to ama we we hear 2% be now they win elections. So 2% no. Unya empty one crop for now. Until you need somebody that can bring that 2% to your party and win the elections for you. And that's where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia comes in.
Okay.
Your party and open nipa 10 no some person running as president open back one. What serve party no at the highest level for a longer period Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That's truth. 10 you at the highest level for a longer period. He has been running mate for 4 elections. 4. None of them has. Is there any almost 10 no one or what the highest political presence in our party than Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at this point? He has been vice president for close to 8 years. And your party at the highest decision-making level, National Council, National Executive Committee, he's been serving for 16 good years. We change Ghana 4 times minimum. 4 times. Kone biye ni wa ewa Ghana ha yenim Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. In fact, Dr. Bawumia is the most popular vice president in our 4th Republic. And Canano, yes, Jerry John Rollins are buying. Oh, Rollins are buying. Yes, Kofu buying me boy. Yes, Atamels are buying. Yes, Mahama buying. What to say Atamels ne Mahama buying that. What to say Rollins ne Aka buying that. But this is the first time with the upper friend this communicated be Abraha. Na ne Kufa do Bawumia buying. In fact, I told you because we did na ne Kufa no crazy in chain. I'm say Bawumia buying. Bawumia buying, Musha de Bawumia ye. It tells you the political clout that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia carries in our political space. And that one is undisputed. And the party need to say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na ene obetumi winning elections against John Mahama first. Secondly, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because he represents the future of this nation. And I will explain. Ghana home.
Yeah.
Your problem has been the fundamentals. Who see dino? Abrosa na ubesi. So one to boase. No one see foundation ye, no one see ne preocupa. Ubetumi see abrosa na to also 8 times. If do baby a bed, a be buegu fem. But only say foundation ye yapa.
Sure.
Obi see them be a de be any say ude contract mo bi so nsi with amount. That's the one you want to say won ko until 3 or 4 months time. One had to be out obesu because so now she sika odi amano now she baby omo wo e foundation level na we be say na sika na me ma no we because ya foundation ni na wie no musa fe de ya say asesa anwea na de akata ni nyina so eti ye frɛ wo se be hwɛ wo da no baby edu abɛkɔ no na dan bi an dan ensi ho one hwɛ obesu. And that is what we promised this country when we came to office in 2017. When we came to office in 2017, one of our biggest challenges was unemployment. But you see, you can't fix unemployment by simply saying, say, Munya lie, Mombra, Opeso more angel more formal. what you do is that you create the enabling environment for a lot more jobs, businesses to be created so that they can absorb them. Okay. And that's why we started with the industrialization drive. But I don't know, you have 4 or 5 years in you. There is nowhere in the world that Oma industrialize here. It took them less than 20 years. If you don't commit yourself to at least 20 years, you fail. Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, China, all of them. They've been doing this for years. It's here, we have come. We are the only political party and a government in this Fourth Republic. We have put in place a deliberate strategy to boost industries. 1994, 92, 94. Under the NDC, a law was passed, Divestiture Implementation Act, to sell off all factories in this country.
Yeah.
The Diversity Implementation Committee almost over 300 businesses, 300 companies. If NPP was in power in 1992, you can't turn our factories. And the worst would have done is to partner with private sector to run these factories so young people can have jobs to do. So you see, as a minor, as we speak, we have at least 160 factories running, and a lot more try say building. Senior high school education, one of the biggest threats to our development in a human capital. Edu baby 135,000 of our children every year after basic school. Do you know what it means? What it means is that by the next 10 years, you are going to have over 1.3 million children skills to be academic. And that is why when we came, we decided to invest in human capital development to ensure, say, a lot more of our growing population would at least have a terminal education at the secondary level, which by which time obetumenya skills kakano to be a baby. Yamana so wow. Yes, say so you here no secondary school there. Nature say obedu tertiary one share no so to me a enko. And that is why last year we removed the guarantor system from the loan scheme so that in year for mana free senior high school are form no. Ombetumi ato aso akọ university. Sane ma we no. Ye da toto akwemu a enyansi ye. Ye gusu aye ya ene ebehia COVID has never happened. There has never been a global pandemic in the last 100 to 120 years. The last one was around 1918, Spanish flu. It disrupted global economy. It disrupted almost every country. Which president could have anticipated, say, there was going to be a pandemic that would bring the global economy to its knees? UK is struggling. They are at an all-time high inflation. US, almost every time, almost hike on interest rates. On inflation, and countries are normal inflation, one negative. When you say at some point, not countries like Japan, they were experiencing deflation. And then, are struggling with their inflationary rates. And then, maybe 70% if we take it. In Turkey, normal inflation was 7%, and I'm 80%. Everyone in the world is struggling. And that is why we are also facing the brunt.
All right.
And you see, we will face the brunt because fundamentals now are fixing. And that's why we are feeling it the way we are feeling it. So all that Bawumia is saying is that for the first time in the history of this country, let us not truncate our development agenda. Yema nembra na ombe tuwaso. Na niema yetumia yeno. The free senior high school, which is building our human capital. The 1D, 1F, which is developing our industries. The Angeltv 111, which is fixing our health infrastructure gap. And all the other good things we have put in place. Because he believes in the government's achievements and policies. Oba so sanya manim no wabo ho ban. Na yasan yechi. Owia na fe based on some fundamentals na yegu so say ye build no. We pia yen e de yakoye nim. I think that the kind of leader we need is that leader that is ready to consolidate the gains we have made and accept, say, we have challenges. He believes that we have challenges in our macroeconomy still. Because so long as every time you need money to go and import from Turkey, you have challenges. Because if Turkey suffers any hit, even though it doesn't happen in your country, you will feel it. Akonye, Yakoto will take $100 and the bar last month. Who say I got off for free if you take your bar because still I only starting ye be one man with me. Take it for inflation. equal 80%. It means that $100 konya no, I feel almost $180. Who konya $80 extra ne free? This offer free woman him. Inti also $1 into who copy cedis. Now that copy dollar ni biya den ato. Oba no, yes say dollar na short because obi e tobi. It is me $80 in bema odia. En kan na 10 cedis. Sisi am 15 cedis. One farmer me a, me fa me $80 ni den. Emma. Once we nya sa $80 na nka 100 no a, untumi nkofa onioma. Inti na wa den na wetua. Inti embre bia na dollar na den ekoso. Oman peni Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, if we don't agree say this is our challenge, instead of running away from it, we should face it and go through it once and for all. We will always suffer that. So we should let him continue as the president of the republic so that he can build the industries, build our economy through formalizing it, digitizing it, employ more people, boost production, especially the ones that we consume. Then we can have our space and our breathing space when it comes to our macro economy. I think say ye nyina ye adwen epenkro na ye tie Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sema oka na ye de tumi mana ebeboan because we have suffered it before. When President Kufuor came, after all the things he did, President Kufuor's time obi etie mi wasante membi abeji adanse say edu baby no na banks eba ye ho ofie ebesren say embeje bosia obi akai. President Kufuor pen na ye hu say to be for man hu nyina sika e de boy nyina ho akwama me no ka say wo de Ghana 300 million cedis ekoye airport ewo Accra ya me amete abrepo afa me oben se man kon kra nkofa airport a efa me oben mi wa ye nyina sika na ede ayu o man peni Kufuor na say debi ye will be a social intervention policy eno no se wo de o man ni sika ya se mentumi aye wo krom kwan kra ma wo mentumi esi wo school dan kra ma wo kra untumi nkasa ban ba ye no aban ye hwe mamie because Ghana ni bia wo bebia no betumi nya sade no ho faso national health insurance, capitation grant, school feeding, free maternal care. These are things that governments do so that no matter where you are in the country, you're able to say, this is what I have benefited from my state, even if you have other things that have not been done for you. And that is what we do as a political party. And this is what did we see? Basically, all these things were rolled back. All these things went back. Here for Mbasika allowances kra omoje at the core training colleges, nursing and teacher training colleges krano omu twemu eji free ensem. And that is why it is very important say we shouldn't deceive ourselves. We shouldn't kid ourselves. It is very, very possible say if we don't brace the storm and stick with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so the niema kakra yetu be ebo ho ban na de yentumi ye no yetumi aya very, very likely say you best akwa echi 4 steps biom akwa echi so a NPP Kruya na yebesi yesu afre na yaba fe yefri so how.
There's this saying echo around what party me person clarify no so na ye shade but member of parliament Edema Fija Kwabred no Honorable Collins Aduma Komensa was me nchia na anopai o show minim say didi mba kwa minim say muni my ba Fatija Rasta wa bintu ye wo le no ye wo le no ono obebobo obetemika oni ebe bo legom bra nyina owi a obebo eri nyina enti e kwa na efiso sisi yen because ye ne be ya de nanantia kwa penda wa ye ko exams na results ne ba oda a ne na ma say obi wa been rough I say the consensus Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ba ho enti o see o show oromo ye see am watch one fine gentleman. I think that it was on Monday, and I'm hosting no here.
Correct guy.
Yeah.
Correct guy.
Very
correct guy.
There's this issue. Ebino Mokadze. Some people for you Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Some baby who are NDC for benya kafa no other than other candidates or money no compete. You know. How will you answer that?
Entasum. New Patriotic Party. Yeni National Democratic Congress in the elections. Say me miracles echina me be ye if anything presidential candidate. Yeah. And as be the president say me nkwana me yedwuma. Me ne MPP fo ya na ba be yedwuma. Enti me hu de enti obi be ka say na ye nyina na ye wa ban mu. Ye nyina ye ka ban no. Ye nyina ya yedwuma wa ban mu. Na mum me na ye de adwuma hye me nsa na ye se me nkoye ebia energy minister me nkoye health minister me na me hwe apomuden nsem so me na me hwe energy me na me hwe trade me na me hwe agric no me de yembisa me hwe na nipa na ono no eye omampani abedi echire na omaiwe mu ye constitution omampani abedi echire na adwuma ne yin exactly na sa wo na wo kra no ye de apomuden adwuma hye wonsa ye de enyinam ahode hye wonsa ye de trade hye wonsa ye de agric hye wonsa ye de railway hye wonsa na sa wo si yembisa wa na me ye omampani abedi echire ne ebisa me I mean, Sanya man say me say wankasa kra wonim say yeah sabi entaso. Wo ye de hye wonsa say make sure say niema ye krafi abroche be o my way mu no e be kofem. Na niema dodo ye wo my way mu no e be doso. Wo be yi no ano. Wo ye de hye wonsa say make sure say ye kania napo. Ye de hye nsa say ye kania ne ye den enyina so. Ye kania ne gina so a say e bonse ma no.
Sure.
Enyo no ne ye de ma no. Ono no adwuma ne de hye nsa. Say me bedi o mampani a me say me ba me make sure say dum so be den e be twem but enye me na me kwakotena energy ministry na my den ma yes adwuma no me fa aboafo enti me fa wo te se na nanado afa napo ne ye ka ne agina so yi a ye di kan e de abasobode no ma napo say me doba adwuma na me de ma wo se koye ma me no wa ye ni ye atemanim asan so ate ye ku nanim emo sa wote se obia ebo nanado echi on energy crisis a nanado so be frɛ na po no de ayeden we blame no meboa sa wote se obia ebo na ekufa do abaso se wo ba ye ka ne agina so a nanado ye kwa cabinet a se me doba etra me nsanifa wa ya de so ajazie na de edum kane a wo se Bawumia school nsam nko yi a wo se Bawumia trade nsam nko yi a wo se Bawumia agric nsem nko yi a wo se Bawumia health nsem nko yi a wo se Bawumia yi so yo no health minister yo no trade minister yo no agric minister sempo ndc ni kam ni hawo na wo na ye di trade hye wonsa no uni hu kwai se obeka bi ko wo na ye di adwuma ne hye wonsa wo na ye di agric hye wonsa no untumi nka bi ko so na ye di yeden ye di hye wonsa se wo ka bi a na se ye kuo ni nyina no wo di kuo ni nwamo Bawumia de onwa ni firi hu ye o because ogitum se wo ye pani a boni enkwale bedi wo fie nyina no wo ne ye de yeden ye soawo enti NPP na ye wo sisi ano ye kuo ni yaban no ne papa mu o mampani abede chire se ojefa ne boni mu so ojefa na mmom se obi be ka enye wo a adwuma no wo ene ye de ma wo se ko ekoye Dr. Bawumia no kre he run this campaign more than any other person in our party enuti na memete se bia Ghana for so ni mu twetwe na about na musem be se munya ye ya hame because ono na ye party campaign na esi ne nan so kese pa but ye bae no ankono nko abetumi akọ ministries ni nyina anka de ne koye ontumi nko ministries ni nyina etiro ne o mampani yi mpanimfo so momboa no na onfan ye adwuma no so waje se basafo na ntumi ye adwuma no efa baabi na se adwuma na nko yi o fa baabi na se ebia Ghana for the subone mob o mampani ability ono beja tumoni hawo because no matter what oni o mampani ne be yi mpanimfo yi but wo na ye de adwuma ne hye wonsa ne de you have no moral right to come and speak because we not ready na kasa party for ne hwehwe because we dey hwamo because e dey djuma hye won sese koye ne me hu na pa na me da fema no you know why because ye kan ya na eden e gina so so adi ase
yeah
eti na djuma na so we make sure that there is energy we djuma no o ye mayen ya party for hye wa ye be gbaje wo so but don't think say party for ne nim de ko
all right
don't think say party for ne ente party na si o obia sembe no so ne yekoya door to door e wa abrepo ha ye nka say abrepo form bisa ye say nipa na oba no ye minister we he on be bisa say mo ba ye no na mo say abrepo junction mo be ye kwan na ma he mo ya na say mo nya ye de ne mo mpie nko mo ye de a ene mo mra ne ntoba mo ene ye sanity enti sa issue of na Dr. Bawumia na we no nipa be na ne hu ni asem na danko ekufa de nkwa ne nka fa no na John Mahama is excellence kro no odi o man yi ko sha mra doko mu kra na ye to ba tie no kwane so no kra ba se yensa to ba ma no
okay enti ebia na fe ya no join Dennis Miracles aboaje and pay menino edin komo ha now let's go into the party na yen hwe major ade edem onim head on say breaking the 8 ade in our political history no experience be this time around the New Patriotic Party because during the era of Jerry John Rawlings, when he was exiting, or the certain, if I say Odia, I mean the party, or the certain Prof Mills by to break the 8 AMFA. Then came Kufuor. When Kufuor was exiting, and also the certain Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor by AMFA. Then came Prof Mills. Prof Mills ne John Mahama Ekabo mu Prof Nyamifa de Kransie. When John was exiting on no crowd there, he had wanted to break the 8 himself. AMFA. Here we are, Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor. Next year, Nyamiya Dumwa. Yebeko to the post to elect or be exited. NPP wants to break the 8. Miracle. And yet easy. I did not offer to Monsono. And you get to and you sure Mojuma my yeno Ebema Ghana for the GDO Mumu and more breaking 8.
I think so. You see, NPP for your doors the same political party be on my way. And once I have committee say you be making history, you be making history. This issue of breaking the 8 no, and yet just for our political party.
Okay. We
are doing it in the interest of the country. And I have told you this earlier on. On penny for bar on my obedi on my enemy in the year 2000. We have to go and declare ourselves highly indebted and poor.
Sure.
So that we can have fiscal space to run this country. Between 2000 and 2008, everybody attests to the fact say at some point, now you say Ghana, yeah, the gateway to Africa. Mokaya 2008.
Yeah.
Now I'm say we are the golden age of business in this country. And I've told you earlier on about how by the time Kufuor was leaving power, banks were chasing us for loans for us to do business with. But maybe you do the year 2008, no, at the ABC, Kufuor experienced a crisis. One was fuel price hike.
Yeah.
And the report junction, total year wahi. Traffic to Mississippi, ya cotton golden tulip. If you to me do 2 days, 3 days, almost per fuel laptop. Obi ete me bi akai. In fact, anya no pe insuo aye benom crash short here. Eno ena ma tembia na nkofo kra yellow gallon e kofa akofo gallon. Eba on my way no. So me kai wakai and I'm sure a lot of people have mentioned this I remember.
Oh yeah.
Unim say sane ma mienu we penting na makofo lose power. After all the things we have done in this country, sane ma mienu na ma NPP yentumi break 8 in 2008. But you see Ghana for suenya bi. Ghana for nya suenhunu bi. Suenhunu Ghana for nya ne say yes, I'm from Sony in 2008 no. And who so Sony say for 8 good years and near my park for young can say to me twice free ho. Now can they go into the next level of our development no. Sanya many nyina no NDC for between ye ko yechi. It by the time my NDC were leaving power, no bank wanted to borrow money, lend money to anybody. If you remember, interest rate then 39% the time they were leaving power for banks. By the time NDC were leaving power, there was an energy crisis in Tia Menoka say Anka Angel FM. Mo production year mo ye be 4 or 5 years. Nkomo ye 2 pe because sika ye be 2 omaka ye de koto diesel e da be ku generate mo say na be ya angel be 2 den arane.
Sure.
Media houses laid off workers. Industries and companies laid off workers because of high overhead charges. Nipa ewuye e wo theater because of that theater pono so ye operation na kania ye den edum. During that time, Ghana ha nurse for any teacher for year school. I see a post on Monomko Yeduma, a man sisi Kenny ho. We had a backlog of about 6-7 years. In fact, we see a year cranny a force a Koyeduma. We had 1 year as I pay a day. Aba, we pay ne banswa. You say, a buying this car. It's instead of say why you 12 months, you bet you are cano. A buying this can see bet you are 3 months. And here for ma, almost rely on allowances are buying the more normally call teacher training in nursing training no e here for mbasa allowances no and this is for age free omunsem afibia no in Colamba come back 135,000 and omu wie junior high schooler e so mo secondary school e so mo katrefie onim de ntia niam mienu de di kan as at the year 2016 December na oba enya admission first term na obekọ secondary school you need not less than 8 to 9,000 cedis and sound to me for school. As of 2016 December. In fact, we didn't every time be as our boarding school, we have 2,400 Ghana cedis as we to school. Because of this, so we here near, obey GSSP, or see a cosiata, cosians and reduma. Osu Kofi, Kosia Ejuma way, Koye say, almost person base you no ma can't fee. Into 135,000 of our children within 8-year period of the NDC remained at home. Today, COVID them in the year 2020 say, hey, say a health infrastructure no crano, say a week, a January back also. But for COVID, we didn't even know, say, we had such a huge deficit. COVID by me MC. Yenam secondary schools in the airport, which was my baby near a year 4 and 2. COVID by primary school demu and the idea for your day, a kugu. And then me no say there has never been an audacious venture by any government to once and for all fix our health infrastructure like we are doing under Agenda 111. And we saw what Kofor did, and we saw how far back the NDC took us when they came into power. What happened? Eventually, it had to take the same NPP to come back to power. Instead of saying, twice every baby, the 8 years of the NDC had rolled back the Akufo spending a time to fix that hole before we can take off. The painful thing for NPP is say, "Embre biya ba near the mind one step forward." Na NDC yejeja NDC de yakwechi 4 steps backwards. Na yanso yase ababiem near the yakwe 1 step forward, and that is why the new patriotic party this time is saying, say, yes, we have challenges. Yes, we have difficulties in our economy. Yes, we have difficulties in so many aspects of our economy. But we have done very well in other aspects. We have done very well in education. In education, we are not fixing only the social issues, we are fixing the capital issues as well. Today, in Ashanti region, there is no senior high schooler. Only one infrastructure or the other ongoing and are completed to fix the gap. Because one of the other biggest challenge in the senior high school at the time I take you over was artificial cutoff point. Akwala ko GSS. When you grade 10, yes, want to be called prempe. Enti akwala no e dan tim se wabon. Meanwhile, otro BC na onya grade 10 wa bin pan. But then tim se wabon because prempe college FR up to 9 pe. When they tell prempe college for up to 9 because school dan no so. Dormitory blocks in Dawson. Danny Horton Dawson. Until I'm 5 to 9. And come to school down the door. And come to me from Kolani do now I'm 10, 11 for the side day. Today, that is being fixed. That is why Mimi Chrome latte. Akolebia on Wesley girls da. And then Utumbe Sinfi latte. Echo Wesley girls in high school. No, no, so be fear. Or no, so share the experience. Or no, so to me networking with other children. If we don't take care, we are creating a class society where only the rich will be grouped in a certain area and the poor will be grouped in a certain area. Today, we are fixing that through free senior high school, removing the barrier of cost and removing the barrier of infrastructural deficit to ensure say every child will go to school. And this is no child's play. We cannot overlook the long-term future of this country and say send Akufo after all he did because we're having challenges with our exchange rates in tea. We should let Nana Dankwa and the NPP go home. If we go, what we are doing is that we are losing all the other side now. In the last 30 years or 34 years, wait to me deliberately any private sector here building such industries, and then almost about 4 or 5 global automobile companies and a assembling of cars in Ghana. Do you know what that means? Do you know the long-term impacts and the long-term effects of that? And it's all based on the enabling environment by the creative. And see, the air can say, Monshe Papa na ya no. Ni yehwe de ayen tumi yeye no na fe nyina yen to ato adwen ni yen pe kwa ye befa so a ye besiesie no na mom se yan hwe ne sa na ye ka se ye ma MPP nya tetem esa ne sa nyoma mienu we ntia dodo na aka no ehiafo ma no oni biefo ma no omo a omo dross wo mai we mu na ehiafo eni ma pa aban we di aba mom no sa ne ma ni nyina no ye be rolling the back na ya se aba back to square zero. And I don't think that is what the people of Ghana are looking for. In the MPP, your preoccupation about breaking the 8 is a very difficult one because a BC that. But we are resolved to break through it, not for ourselves, but for the long-term effect that it would have on this country. And that's why we are calling on every single Ghanaian to say, no matter where you are, no matter what your sentiments are, no, let us give the NPP the chance to do a third term so that we see. So far, party being to me a third term yet. Yama ba kope chance ni yenhwe. When to me and ya ni yina eden is in chain. Yaba ena 7 years abi. Inti adding that 4 years to it will not make any difference. But we are saying we can do it. Others are saying we cannot do it. But we are saying we can do it. The difference between those who are saying we can do it and those who are saying we cannot do it, and I say we have experienced that we cannot do it before. Yeah, 8 years now, 3 times, or 4 times. You say impact in this one. A say a minor, a 3 year minor question. Why don't we try the 12 years for the first time and see if it doesn't work? Then we know that we've experienced that one too, and then we'll take our decisions moving forward. Okay,
well, yeah, Brennason. And I pay yeah the uncommon AC ha. Miracles minim what's not very wrap up my and I pay Anzania sorry.
Oh, I think say the American name wrap up no.
Okay.
Now the American say ahunwa any just from kwa party for edishia Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wo ASANTE memu no.
Okay.
Nani so na o sha ASANTE me nyina abo say ekwen bia obefa so ode say ahoden surunku yi beko the other regions. Na wetumi dey winning presidential primaries no. Na we lead ye party no to the 2024 elections. Na ye din kunim. Na wa hye nyina abo say ekwen bia obefa so be make sure say Ghana en pepe so ye du yen san ko yechi. Na mum de ye ntumi ye no obedi yenim kan na ye no obehwe na waye den waye sabo hye ne de Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia de Ghana fo nyina.
Yebeda was say ene anope ti se dokan no ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ade na probo obano wa santimantem no nyina ba na wie 47 constituencies no waye ne nyina wie enye Charles play o enough from crowd. Yebeda Dennis Miracles aboaje ase or a member of the team na obi bia otie mo amhwe wa Donko television mo amutie wo Angel FM Tamale mo amutie on other networks nyina no yeda mo nyina ase. Hopefully nyame yadomo a ochina yebesan aba na afi yede Thursday's edition no aba bidi the family bida mo nyina ase nyame yadomo a yebehia ochina yakra mo nyina. Yes, sorry, up next, yes, sport, the sports team.